Richard, you're known as a human potential expert. What gives you that right to be called by that title?
Well, as an entrepreneur, myself a serial entrepreneur, I pretty much titled myself that. I own that. Why? Because I've been doing this for 30 years. You do anything for 30 years, you're going to be pretty good at it, so you can call yourself an expert.
Why is the area of human potential so important for entrepreneurs today?
I mean, human potential is necessity for entrepreneurs and just about for anybody in business because it travels from your personal life to your business life. If you can tap into your own human potential, you can actually grow as an entrepreneur. And then from the entrepreneur side, you need to tap into your prospects, your customers' human potential, because it's all about making sure they receive exactly what they desire. And when you do that, that's when you get paid.
You got a blueprint for helping people build their own human potential blueprint, I guess, for their companies. Tell me more about that.
It actually boils down to 5 surprisingly simple steps. I mean, how many fingers on your hand? You have 5, so it's pretty easy to remember. I'm Polish and I'm a male. If I can figure this out, anybody can. Step number 1 is to escape your mental prison, because in business we all think things are supposed to be a certain way, and usually it's not what you think it is. So you need to escape your mental prison to be able to go beyond your potential. Step number 2 is to lay out your personal blueprint. And you'd be surprised, as a former investment banker, I have seen thousands of business plans over the years. I would ask an entrepreneur what their plan is. They're like, oh, it's all in my head. If it's not on paper, it doesn't exist. Okay? Step number 3 is access specialized knowledge, because if you don't have the answers to everything, what a shock you don't, find somebody who does. Follow Glenn Dietzel. I'm promoting you right now, by the way, because you're like brilliant at what you do. So follow Glenn, do whatever he says. Step number 4 is take massive inspired action, because once you've accessed all the specialized knowledge, you've escaped your mental prison, you laid out your blueprint, now you can take massive inspired action, not just massive action, but has to be inspired. And the last one in my ELATE system, the 5 steps, is to expand your heart and give. What charities are you working out with right now? What charities are you giving your time to? Maybe community organizations, maybe your church, your synagogue, whatever the case may be. It's all about giving, because when you give, you will receive.
What's the backstory to the system that you've created?
Oh, geez. It started when I was about 12 years old as a kid, growing up in Chicago, a little small town, population 5,000. So, the great thing about living in a small town is that everybody knows everybody. The bad thing about living in a small town is that everybody knows everybody. But there was one summer when I was about 12 years old, down at the end of the street, there was a house being built. And after watching this for about a week or so, I walked onto the job site. I said, well, what are those pieces of paper you're looking at every day? Actually, twice a day. At the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, meeting with the whole crew. He says, they're blueprints. I go, what's a blueprint? I'm 12 years old. I didn't have a clue of what's going on. He said, well, you have to build this house specifically to what the client wants. If you don't do everything specifically to a fraction of an inch, the doors may not close, the foundation may not, everything can come tumbling down around you, the air conditioning may not work, so everything all revolves around a blueprint. So I'm thinking if there's a blueprint for a house, we've all been in real estate at one point or another, so we all understand this. You have blueprints for everything, a house, car, radios. Back in the day, we actually had transistor radios. We don't anymore. I'm dating myself. But there's a blueprint for everything, and once you follow that 5 steps that I just mentioned a few minutes ago, you're going to be well on your way to success for your business and for yourself personally.
Define for us human potential, and then I have a follow-up question to you for that.
Human potential is getting every last drop of potential out of yourself personally and for your business. We all can grow. Whenever you think your level is, you can go much higher than you think. You don't even know how high that is. There was a movie years ago. It's like, well, you turn it up to an 11. You have 10, and their speaker turns everything up to, I think it was Spinal Tap, if you remember years ago. I know I'm dating myself again. But, wherever you think you are right now, there's an extra gear, an extra level, and by you tapping into your own human potential, you can reach that.
How can the readers or the watchers of Lifestyle Entrepreneur Magazine right now, how can they tap into their potential or begin to tap into their potential in the next 30 minutes? What's your recommendation?
Oh, very easy. Follow those 5 simple steps I said at the very beginning. The ELATE system: escape your mental prison, lay out your personal blueprint, um, access specialized knowledge, take massive inspired action, and extend your heart and give. If you do that in any area of your life, you're going to reach your potential.
What do you think is the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs are making right now to realize their fullest potential?
Social media is very narcissist. You know, everybody wants to see their own postings and things like that. And people get addicted to social media. They live on Facebook, and they wonder why their bank accounts aren't really flush with cash. So stay off of social media as much as you can. Be on there to have visibility, but you don't need to live on there unless you're in the business of social media. Then obviously, one of our companies gives social media certification, you know, because Glenn told me to do that. So I'm on social media a lot. So there's a reason for that. But you don't have to live on Facebook. You know, the more you're on social media, and if you're not in the industry, your bank account just starts going down and down and down.
Richard, what's the one question that you wish somebody asked you that people don't ask you?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. Let's see, what's the one question that people don't ask that they should ask? You always trip me up with this stuff, Glenn. A lot of people ask me, why haven't I succeeded yet? And people always want to know the newest tips and tricks and everything like that. When in essence, I got a new book coming out called Ultimate Success Blueprint. It's all about the psychology of what happens, everything behind the scenes. You know, remember the Wizard of Oz, you know, pay no mind to the man behind the curtain. You know, there's a lot of stuff that happens, and most of your success happens behind the curtain. Or if you look at a glacier on the ocean, you know, 80% of that is way below the surface. You don't even see that stuff. And most people are looking for the tips and the tricks that are above the surface that can get them instant results, but they're not long lasting. You may make a few bucks really, really quickly, and then you're going to drop off the face of the planet. Okay, you want long, sustaining success.
Richard, we have about 30 seconds left, so my last quick question for you: what's your biggest success story to date?
My 2 sons. Didn't even have to think about that one. I have one that's about to turn 25, who's actually just now leaving the military, and I have my little man just turned 10 years old. You know, I was just out in LA for his birthday party, so it was fun. That is my greatest success.
Success in business is always trumped by success in relationships, and being a father and a successful father is fantastic. Thanks a ton, Richard.
Thank you.